Mom, it's me. I know I've asked you this before and you don't remember, but I'm trying to go to the house that y'all were buying in Lakeview. So you think it was bulldozed? There's a house for sale. 6027 is for sale. Wait, what did it look like? Did it have a porch? I think it was. I thought it was 10 feet of water. There was 13. 13 feet of water. So wait, I'm on the lot, Mom. I'm standing on the lot. It's been bulldozed. So the house had 10-foot ceilings. The water, there was 13 and 14 feet of water in the house. And yeah, it's just a lot now. It's empty.
In the immediate aftermath of Katrina, I think most residents from New Orleans or the Gulf Coast generally were in a pretty tough place. Having sort of your home just in a sort of state of complete, chaos is a pretty tough thing to witness. And a lot of folks dealt with that in different ways. Government really failed this region at all levels in the aftermath of the storm. Citizens, grassroots efforts have really been the driving force that has been carrying a lot of the city forward. John Kimble and I known each other for a long time. I think that we're both motivated by a sense of feeling like this is home and it's in need of some serious support.
Obviously in New Orleans, the critical issue was housing, and it was a critical issue before the hurricane in terms of dealing with poverty, but now it's the critical issue to the city's recovery. What's amazing is how perfectly all of my academic work led into my fellowship, which led into what I'm doing now. It's kind of astonishing to me sometimes. My fellowship project, I wanted to look at predatory mortgage lending, but within that, in terms of creating a livable city that's socially equitable and socially sustainable, understanding housing is really important. And so my mentor and I testified to the Federal Reserve, and with him, I also went to DC and lobbied. We sort of debated with them about how the Federal Reserve needs to be more proactive in pushing the lending industry to meet its obligations.
Working on the Compton Mentor Fellowship was a lot of advocacy and advocating for change. And I felt that with a law degree, I would get the kinds of skills that would enable me to not only advocate for change, but to be in a position to facilitate that kind of change. So I went to law school down here in New Orleans at Tulane Law School. And after a year and a week, Katrina hit, which sort of turned everybody's world upside down.
The hurricane hit, New Orleans was flooded. The house we were buying was destroyed, and it was unclear where we were going to be living, and my family was just, our whole life and world was in total chaos and turmoil. And I obviously wasn't going to just fly back to California and, see you later, I'm going to go back to work. I actually ended up going on leave from my job for 2 months. It allowed me to transition my life there and kind of heal on my own, and then make the decision to come back to New Orleans full-time, which I did in May after the hurricane.
Over 200,000 folks from New Orleans are still displaced, and a lot of those folks are still looking for ways to get back. These are residents who are facing bureaucratic hurdles in their efforts to get back on their feet. And there's a massive crisis of thousands and thousands of folks who are locked out of these programs. In the aftermath of the storm, I served as a co-founder of the Student Hurricane Network, working to facilitate the creation of a National Association of Law Students that has been connecting law students from all over the country with pro bono opportunities to support the legal services community in the region. Over the course of the last 20 months, we've coordinated roughly 2,800 law students coming to work with 35 or 40 different organizations in the region. It's built sort of a national movement of folks getting involved down here. I would say that the skills that I developed through the Compton Mentor Fellowship really enabled me to be able to kind of take the idea of this network and not only plan out what would need to happen to sort of turn it into a reality, but to actually sort of carry those steps forward.
There's a bunch going on in federal housing policy this month that we thought it was important for the nonprofit sector to be informed of.
and to advocate around.
I work for the Louisiana Association of Nonprofit Organizations, so I'm the New Orleans Public Policy Director. I focus on issues that are related to recovery. That's mostly affordable housing, disaster response and planning, and also to some degree sort of issues around poverty. I'm now in some ways kind of a housing policy lobbyist at a really critical time for New Orleans, and so it's great for me to be able to know how to do that and know what I want and know what I want to go after and know what I want to say to legislators.
There's a lot of issues going on in this community right now, and there have been, forever. And the storm didn't change that. It might have compounded or confused that, but it really just exposed that. And John and I are both folks who are dedicated to addressing that crisis.
Because there's so few people here, and there's so much work that everyone who's making an effort is really, directly touching the things that are being set up as the recovery. I'm not fighting to save the city out of guilt. I'm fighting to save it because I love it and because it's me, and I am the city, and the city is me. The city and the city is me.